My dear, good morning. How are you? Have you seen Alex today? Oh yeah, he was over there making a YouTube video in the house. Oh really? How's that going? Is he trying to warn everyone of the Bitcoin crash again? Yeah, it's kind of funny. Alright, so I'm going to try not to sound too pessimistic, but I have to keep it real with you guys. Alright? What we're seeing right now is not really pretty, especially if you're a bull. And today I'm going to show you what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking, and what you should be doing if you want to protect yourself in this market. So, first thing we should point out is we've rejected at the neckline of the head and shoulders. What is a head and shoulders? It's a bearish chart pattern, which it fucking works. Alright, I don't care who you are. You say, oh, head and shoulders doesn't work. It worked over here when I called the crash down to 30K earlier in 2021. Alright, so when I called this crash and we were at 50K, I remember everyone said, buy the dip, we're going to 100K, and people were laughing at me. Boom, I called the crash down to 30K. And so, you know, trust me, head and shoulders, whenever it's on a big picture scale like this, is often very effective. And we've seen it happen earlier. We're seeing it happen again. This head and shoulders already got us down to 33K when we initially broke through it. We're retesting the neckline, and we're rejecting it so far. Now, this is a little interesting situation because to me, it's not a matter of if Bitcoin gets to 26K. I've somehow convinced myself that it's a matter of when, all right? Now, I could totally be wrong, but, you know, everyone's got their own opinion and view on the market, right? 80% of people think the market's going to go to 100K, and then there's like the very, very, very few people, I don't really know many, like myself, who think we're probably going to go to 26K and below. At least that's my target. Now, how do I come to 26K as my target? Simple. Look at the head and shoulders, okay? Bring that down and take that from the breakdown point. It gets you down right here to 26K. Now, you want to see something interesting is the head and shoulders right here. You see this head and shoulders? All right, check this out. This is how I predicted we were going to drop down to 30K in this head and shoulders. So you take this measurement right here, okay? And you take that down, okay, that's exactly how I called. You can go back and look in my thumbnail. I think in my thumbnail it said 32K Bitcoin is what I predicted. But you can see this head and shoulders target got us down to 34K, which was pretty damn accurate because that's where we pretty much wicked up here after the crash, right? So we crashed, but we wicked right there, and that was kind of like the body of the crash, right? So you can see that head and shoulders worked out perfectly. This one worked out pretty damn nicely. We just haven't got all the way down necessarily. And that's the thing. A lot of these times, you know, these head and shoulders price targets can be exceeded, okay? And this one was clearly exceeded. This one hasn't been met yet. And so that's one way you know that there's potential downside here without being a, you know, if you're a bull, right? You could still see that, all right? We haven't necessarily met the target. Of course, targets aren't, you know, guaranteed or factual, but they are used as a measure and way to help us gauge where we think we're headed, right? And so when you look at Bitcoin right now, I want to point out something, which is the pattern that we're seeing, which I called a week ago when we broke out, which is crazy, right? Because if you look at this, look at this. So you have a downtrend right here, and we break out with the massive green candle, okay? Downtrend, break out with the massive green candle. Then, look at this. I called this a week ago. Cool off candle, and we pushed higher for 4 straight days. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this. Cool off candle, and we pushed higher for 1, 2, 3, 4 days before our first red candle. Guys, who called this a week ago? Who showed you this pattern and showed you what to look out for? And so we saw history repeat itself almost exactly, but there are key differences I gotta show you, which is the fact that volume is decreasing massively on the way up, whereas last time volume was increasing to the upside, right? More people were interested. More people were piling into Bitcoin on this breakout. This time, less and less people are piling in, and this is where I believe the pattern begins to diverge. This is where we will start to see the pattern not follow exactly. Okay? Because last time, I mean, so far, right? And usually they say if it's not broke, don't fix it. So really you'd think, okay, keep following this pattern because so far it's working exactly. And it could continue to work exactly, but to me, I'm seeing these subtleties. I'm seeing these differences. The volume is downtrending. Last time it was uptrending. The trend is downtrending while last time everything was uptrending. To me, this is a whole nother scenario with just, you know, a pattern pretty much repeating itself, but this time in a downtrend. So I don't believe that We're going to get a repetition of this pattern exactly. I believe the pattern is going to start to diverge at this point. And you could see last time when we broke out, we went around 55, 56% to the upside within 40 days. Now, if you take that same measurement from the breakout here, you would expect to hit a target of around here, 58,000 in 40 days from the breakout. I don't see us getting up there. I mean, it's very possible though, right? You know, this pattern is repeating itself, but I just don't see it happening personally, especially not within 40 days. Okay, and so what I'm looking at next is, once again, we got the divergences, we got the differences. Now I'm trying to see, will this pattern and what we're seeing, right? Will it start to break away and break off of what, just copying this exactly? Once it starts to break away and once it stops copying this shit and starts doing starts dropping on its own or doing something on its own, that would be my confirmation that this pattern is over and that the bull move to 58K is probably invalidated. You see what I mean? So all I'm doing is I'm just comparing these side by side. So far we're copying it pretty much exactly. And so I don't want to, get too big on a short move right now, right? I don't want to short crazy hard right now if based on this pattern, it's about to take off again, right? But to me, I'm looking at this, I'm seeing the subtleties in the volume and the fact that this is a downtrend. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I think it's going to go lower, but I don't want to jump the gun and try to short when so far the pattern is repeating itself, and so far, based on that pattern, you would expect to move higher, right? So I'm not jumping in on anything right now. But to me, for example, if you erase this part of the screen and I had no idea this was a repetition of the pattern, I'd say this is highly, highly, highly bearish. Why? Because once again, you're rejecting off that trend line, and on top of that, we're meeting massive resistance in the 46K region. So if you don't realize or remember, 46K was massive support in December, okay? And every single time we would get there, they would buy it. They would buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. They would not let it break lower. We got to 46K again here at the very end of December. They would not let it break lower. To begin the year, boom, we start collapsing, and that was our support turned into, well, it wasn't support anymore. Now we come back to that same zone and region where they wouldn't let it fall before, and now they're selling it there, right? So support turned resistance, and guess where that coincides with the neckline of the head and shoulders. So this is a massive resistance area that Bitcoin needs to break through before I could ever really have, confidence that it's going to be able to get to 58K, which is the target based off of this pattern repetition, right? The pattern is repeating itself exactly so far, but I'm just kind of making the guess that it's going to stop copying each other, right? It's about to diverge from just copying the past, So basically that's what I'm looking at, just looking at these patterns side by side. If it continues to repeat, then and we can break above this, I want to get bullish probably up into 58K, or this is where I want to start playing bullish if it can get there. But personally, I think that there's a real solid chance and there's a real threat that this is it, okay? Because what do you notice? Lower high, lower high, lower high, another lower high. This is still downtrending. This is still, a bounce within an overall bear market. And so the only question is, how high does the bounce go within this bear markets? Guys, bounces can get pretty big during bear markets. If you go back to 2018, you had a boom, 94% bounce before continuing lower here. Boom, 55% bounce before continuing lower here. Boom, 45% bounce before going lower. So think about that, 45% bounce, 60% bounce, 90% bounce. It could be any one of those. That's the thing. And so that's the hard part is, I could totally see this being it right here. Boom, 40% bounce, and that's it. Because why? It's got all the signs of, all right, rejection at the neckline, rejection in previous support. And so it looks just beautiful. If you're, bearish on the market, it looks good right here. At the same time, you have to be objective and realize that these bounces coming in bear markets, they can be, once again, 40%. They can also be 60%. And as you saw in 2018, it could even be 90%, which I don't see happening. But even 90% would still be a lower high. That would be up to 63K. So basically what you're saying is, look, in a bear market, these bounces, they're ferocious, they're quick, and they move fast. Okay, and these bounces, they can stop here, they can stop here, they can stop here before collapsing and inevitably coming much lower. That's the hard part about these bounces, is where is the tip top of the bounce? Is it here, there, or there? And so that's why I want to play slowly, patiently, combine the signals by basically comparing what we're seeing now and here. And should this start to diverge and break away from the repetition of this pattern, that's going to give me confidence that this could be the top of this bounce, but it's not guaranteed at all right now. You know, that's why I'm not placing any positions. I'm not placing any trades. I'm not shorting anything as of this instant. And that's why I'm really just doing nothing right now. All right. But at the end of the day, this would be another lower high. And there's a lot of cohesion with this being a lower high, with it being at the neckline and at previous massive support 46K. So this could be it. This could be the tip top of this bounce. But like I said, we just got to be objective and realize these bounces, like I said, it's crazy. These bounces could be to 45, boom, boom. But that's why I'm just sitting on the sideline right now and just copying and watching the pattern. All right. So next up, guys. Obviously, my price chart is down to 26K and below, but I want to show you why, we can easily get to 26K and lower. Okay, I think 26K and lower. 26K is my minimum target. Okay, I think Bitcoin would be lucky to stop at 26K. It would be lucky to stop at 26K, and let me tell you why. Okay, so in 2018, nobody thought. Okay, when Bitcoin went to 20,000, everyone said, "Grab your Bitcoin. Bitcoin's never going below $10,000 again." And guess what? It went 68% below what everyone thought it couldn't go below. Okay? Everyone thought it will never go below 10,000. That shit dropped to 3,000. Today we see something very similar happening. And that is that everyone in the world thinks that Bitcoin cannot go below 30,000. Michael Saylor's invested. His average entry cost is 30,000. There's too much institutional adoption. Inflation is too bad now. Right? And I have objections to all those things. One, watch the last video where I explained the incredible power one has as a short seller, and that's going to help you think from an institutional perspective on how much of a bargain it is for them to actually bring the price lower, especially if economic conditions favor that. Okay, so watch last video if you don't believe it's possible for Bitcoin to even get to 26 or 10K. Okay, a lot of people think 10K is crazy. I don't think it is at all. I think it's a real possibility. Every single cycle, every single time, people tell themselves things are different this time, and every time that ends up being a lie. Okay, 85% drop from the all-time high gets you down to exactly 10,000 points. What did we see in 2018? You saw a drop from 20,000 down to 3,000, 83% drop. So once again, am I saying it's going to drop exactly 85%? As a matter of fact, I think it's unlikely you drop 85%. I think it's unlikely you get to 10,000, but you just have to know that that is still within kind of like the range that Bitcoin can drop. I think you're tracking for a 60 to an 85% drop. I wouldn't think Bitcoin would go lower than 85%, but it is possible. So minimum, I think you get a 62% crash in Bitcoin. So anywhere between 62% and 85%, with 85% being unlikely. So to me, like I said, 10K, 9K-ish is the worst, just because that's what we know from history. Once again, so many people argue, say this time's different, institutional adoption is too high. These are false objections. They're simply just not. They're not correct. Okay, I can literally. We can do a debate. I will fuck any of you guys in debate with any of your common 90% of people common thinking objections that you guys have. That's the problem with everyone. Everyone's sheep. Okay, no one knows how to think for themselves. People only listen to some, what's easiest to listen to, but no one actually takes it a step further and actually breaks these things down and thinks for themselves. That's why 90% of people suck, and that's why I'm actually good, okay? Because I have a mind of my own. I don't just listen to what I hear. And so, basically, if you don't think 10K is possible, if you don't think 26K is possible, you are wrong. And at 26K, I'm going to say you will be proven wrong. You will see 26K, in my opinion. Of course, I could be wrong, but I just don't think I will be, And, guess what? People thought that Bitcoin was going to go to 100K, and they thought that they couldn't be wrong, and they were wrong. So anyone can be wrong. This is the market. I'm not claiming that with 100% certainty I will be right. I just want to keep it real and give you a real opinion. It's so much better to just give you a real take instead of say it can go up or down or sideways or inwards or outwards. I'd rather give you something that, you can actually think like, okay, that guy, he thinks it's going to 26K. What if everyone actually told you what their opinion was? That way you can actually, hopefully make a better opinion, because every other channel is just going to say it could go this way, that way, up way, blah, 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 blah. Okay, at least you know here on this channel at Crash Trading, I believe we're going down to 26K in Bitcoin. All right, simple as that, point blank. All right, so that's what it comes down to right now. It's a critical point in the charts where I think the pattern is going to diverge. I think we're probably not going to just continue to copy this pattern. Remember, I called that a week ago, guys. Okay, so if you're not following me on Twitter, also I talked about that in one of the last videos, then you should follow me on Twitter at CrashesClay69. We talked about that basically. All I'm saying is be looking out for the next 24 hours, okay? Overall, my view does not change. I believe this is a bear wave. We get a bull wave and a bear wave, right? Or bear wave, and that's the thing, the bull wave can go up to there though, right? And so that's why in the Telegram, you know, we've been short-term bullish. Short-term bullish, right? So we were at 41K a couple days ago. I drew the future and told everyone in my Telegram channel that we are going to go sideways and then push higher, okay? And I even said it right here. I said, so most likely we're going to sit out and watch Bitcoin rip higher, and we're going to say, yep, we were right. But that's okay, because being right about the market is easy. Trading it is much harder. That's what a lot of people don't understand, okay? So, guys, point one or point number two, it all comes down to where does the bull move end? And I just want you guys to know, this is my warning to you, is this could be the end of the bull move, which is a lot sooner than I expected. This could be it, okay? This could be the end of that bull move and breakout, but we could still get to there. So either way, I just want you to be on guard, on edge. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and I promise you, and I'll tell you something, okay, whether the market goes up or down, we will be profiting here in the Crash Trading Telegram Alerts channel. Okay, we go both ways, long and short. You know, we just took a long on Mana here the other day. 2 days ago, we went long on Mana and called us pumping Mana. You can see this right here. Where's Mana, Mana, Mana? This was my last long trade, right? So I said longing Mana, entry 1, entry 2, entry 3, stop loss, looking for a push up to 3.4. Okay, what happens? I send out this, boom, Mana just instantly starts pumping. It actually went to 3.5 after this, and we made around, you know, just quick 2,500 in 30 minutes. I was super hungry that day. This was like midday. You can see at 2:31 p.m. I still had an 8 that day. So I just got out with a quick 3,000 profit, and we called it a day there. So like I said, you know, I'm overall bearish, but even if I'm bearish, I'm still going to take long setups and long trades if I see it fit and if I think it's going to make the money. You know, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Be consistently right, whether it's up or down. Just make the money, get out, take your money from the market and get the fuck out. Alright, so guys, we're going to wrap up the video pretty much. I just want to point out, remember, no one thought we would go below 10K there, and boom, we went to 3,000. No one thinks that we can go below 30K in Bitcoin, and boom, I bet you we will. I bet you we will. So, last thing, Bitcoin needs to stay above these EMAs, man. If it breaks through these EMAs this fast, like after just getting above them, oh my god. Dude, this thing is fucked, you know? So, yeah, you can still remain bullish as long as we're above these EMAs, I think, because once again, we still have that pattern repeating itself. That pattern does show us if the pattern continues to repeat itself, right, that we will get up to 50K. So, you know, what it comes down to, stay above these moving averages and keep pushing higher, right? Keep pushing higher, but you can really be confidently bullish above here. Okay, then I think you can easily make a case for getting up to 52, 58K. Okay, but for now, as it stands, I'd be very, very careful if this shit flips back below these EMAs. It's going to be a close call. We're about to find out pretty soon, I think. So I'm just playing on the fly, guys. You know, as a trader, you have to pick your shots and your spots. Okay, it's about the spots, right? So, for example, the spot I would want to get bullish and start longing hard is right above here, right? That's a spot. You got to pick that spot. Okay, pick a spot where you know you have a really good chance of winning. So my spot to short was right there. Boom, right in this region. Okay, so guys, if you want to find the spots, find the shots, make sure you join the Telegram where I'm going to tell you the live trades that I'm actually taking. You know, real live setups that you can take advantage of, guys. So the link to join will be down below, crashtrading.com/crashalerts. Let's make some money, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, be safe, and don't get crazy. Let's take advantage. I'll see you guys in the next one.